Hello everyone, GoldenNova here, and welcome to Field Test, a series where we sleeve up my latest experiment and see how it operates out in the wild. If you want to see me run these decks through their paces live, you can catch me right here on YouTube every Friday at 8 PM Central Time. Subscribing will keep you posted, and if you want to stay in the loop on any updates, follow the link in the description for my Twitter. Okay, value extraction aside, let's talk about today's thought experiment, Magician's Soul's Witchcrafter. Not the most popular deck that's utilized the ghostly remains of Yugi's dynamic duo, but we're not here to confirm data that's already been published, we're here to expand our horizons into the unknown. For those not in the know, Witchcrafter is an archetype that looks to expand the options of your spell cards via the effects of your spellcasters. There's a wide variety of Witchcrafter spells that do some pretty familiar things. One revives, one searches. They're the kind of theme-specific support you've come to expect from most fledgling archetypes. What sets them apart is that those spells return from your grave to your hand during your end phase if you control a Witchcrafter, and if you haven't activated that named spell this turn. This goes pretty well with the monsters, who all have activated effects that require you to discard a spell as cost. This makes for some interesting choices, balancing the need to use spells for their intended effects and getting them back later, or discarding it to a member of the Crafting Coven and get it back sooner. In theory, we can augment this deck by adding Magician's Souls. Madame Vare has a powerful negate at quick effect speed, and being able to send them directly to the grave via souls so we can revive her with Holiday is spectacular. Combined with the ability to trade in your Witchcrafter spells and traps for fresh draws, as well as enabling their graveyard effects, we look to assemble a board headlined by Vare, and have her stun our opponent long enough to gather resources to sweep in for a big finisher. Here's the breakdown of the list I piloted. We've got one Golem Aruru, one Madame Vare, one Hane, one Adel, two Schmidta, two Pittori, two Pottery, two Genie, three Magician's Souls, two Collaboration, two Creation, two Holiday, two Demonstration, two Bystreet, two Scroll, one Draping, three Extravagance, three Super Poly, three Secret Village of the Spellcasters, two Twin Twisters, two Masterpiece, and two Patronus. Into the extra deck, we have an extravagant suite of three Starving Venom, three Diplexer Chimera, three Muddragon of the Swamp, and two each of Unicorn, Phoenix, and Cerberus. Now, let's go to the test footage. Our first duel is up against Pendulum. We're going first, so we'll normal summon Pottery, tribute it and discard scrolls to summon Vare from deck, and scrolls will go to our field during the end phase. They're going to set Stargazer and through Wisdomized Time Gazer to their scales, normal summon White Wing Magician, Pendulum Wisdomize to get Black Wing Dragon, and then use Pendulum Fusion for Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. I don't like the effect, so we go ahead and negate it by sending scrolls. They set, pass to us, we're going to go ahead and play Twin Twister, I don't want to deal with whatever that is, and we'll use Creation to get Aruru to our hand. At end phase, we'll get Collaboration back and reset scrolls and pass to them. They'll activate Soul Pendulum and then try to use Venom Dragon to copy our monster, but we'll respond with Aruru, bouncing it back to their extra deck. We go ahead and attack with our card, and seeing as we have Vare's ability to boost attack power, they go ahead and concede. Next up is Morphtronic Symphonic Warriors. This was a really fun duel. They're going to lead by putting Guitars in scale and using its effect to summon bases. They'll normal summon Scopin and use its effect to special summon Slingin. They'll link for Halka Fibrax to get Jet Synchron, and they'll go into IP Masquerena to end on Avermax. On our turn, we draw, and we're going to go ahead and set a card. We don't really have anything that we can use to fight against this. They're going to play Morphtronic Accelerator to get rid of our set card, I mean, good for them, and they're going to punch us for 3,000. We draw for turn, and we're going to go ahead and play Twin Twisters, not only to get rid of their scale, but to activate Masterpiece so that we can get Genie on board, so that we can get Vare out. We're going to go ahead and play Creation so that we can get Aruru, and then pass turn. They draw, and they're going to go ahead and attack with their Avermax, but we have Vare. That'll negate its effect, and then we'll boost our defense by 1,000 so that they take 800. We're going to draw and then pass for turn, putting scrolls back on our field and Creation back into our hand. They go, and they also pass because they don't want to have a repeat of last turn. We draw for turn, and we put Vare in attack mode. We negate Avermax and then attack, revealing two spells in hand to crash with them, and then we're going to use Holiday to bring Vare back. And I guess they didn't have much else after that point because then they concede. Next up is DDD, and I have got to make a field test for these guys. I love how all of the cards interact to make a big combo monstrosity. They'll lead by normal summoning Kepler, which will search Dark Contract with the Gate. Activating that will get them Necro Slime, and they'll use War Arthro to get Lamia. Swirl Slime will fusion Genghis, then banish itself to summon Lamia from hand. They'll link for Halqifibrax to get Ghost, which will cause Genghis to summon Lamia. They'll Synchro Summon for Alexander, and then use Lamia's effect to bring it back out. This will trigger Alexander to get Ghost back, but they're also going to send another Necroslime to the graveyard. Necroslime will Fusion Summon for another Genghis, they'll Synchro for Siegfried, and link for Gilgamesh so they can set Scales. King Apocalypse will summon from the Pendulum Scales, activating Ragnarok. DD Ghost will also activate to put Lamia back in the graveyard, and they get back Alexander. They scale Thomas to put Kepler back in hand, they'll use Siegfried to negate Dark Contract, but they still take the 2000 from Where Arf Thou. During our standby phase, we'll use Super Poly to clear their Siegfried, summoning Starving Venom and gaining a bunch of attack points. During our main phase, we'll play Extravagance, draw a couple cards, but they'll chain Halqifibrax so they can summon Shooting Riser Dragon, sending Swirl Slime to the graveyard. We'll normal summon Pottery and discard Secret Village to summon Adel, and then we'll have Adel discard Holiday to summon Hane. In battle phase, we'll attack with Adel, Starving Venom, and then Hane into Gilgamesh, which will float into Alexander. In main phase 2, we link into Unicorn to get rid of the Alexander, but realize we don't have any Witchcrafters on board. Not to worry, Pottery will banish to put Holiday back in our hand so that we can summon Hane. At this point, I'm kicking myself for not closing out the game, but then I realize that they have a Dark Contract of the Gate active during their standby phase, and we win. Our next duel is against Dinosaurs. Let's see if we can pay them back for what they did to us last time. They'll start by normal summoning Jewel Beast Argosaurus, destroying Baby Ceresaurus to get Double Evolution Pill. This will fetch Soul Eating Oviraptor, which will get the Miscellaneous Saurus. They'll pitch that and then activate Destrudo to summon it, link summoning into Halqifibrax. They'll summon Aeolo, and then use Miscellaneous Saurus to get Petit Pterosaurus. Oviraptor will destroy it to get another copy, which will then summon Giant Rex. Then Martial Metal Marching Band will summon Aeolo back, they'll Synchro Summon for Clearwing Synchro Dragon, use Double Evolution Pill to get Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, it's banishing summoning Giant Rex, which they will Xyz Summon into Lagia. We've got our work cut out for us. We'll use Super Poly and Standby to get rid of one of their negation bodies, and then we'll play Extravagance to try and draw into something relevant. They'll chain with Halqifibrax so they can get Riser Dragon so they can send Miscellaneous Saurus to grave. We'll normal summon Genie, use it to get Aruru on the board. We try to make Cerberus so that we can clear the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, but unlike us, our opponent remembers that Clearwing can negate monster effects that target level 5 or higher effect monsters. We pass turn and they go right to battle phase. They'll go in for 35, we try to activate Patronus for something, but it's in vain. We take the damage, we take 25, and 21 for game. Alright, our last game is against Cyber Dragons. Can we pull out all the stops to redeem ourselves on our last duel? They're going to use Cyber Emergency to get Cyber Dragon Core. They'll use Naster to special summon itself, which will then grab Cyber Dragon. They'll normal summon Core to get Cybernetic Overflow, link for Seeger, set to, and pass. We lead with Twin Twisters. I know that Overflow is going to give them a search, but I don't want them disrupting our plays during our turn. We'll normal summon Pittori after they search Rev System. We'll use this effect to get Aruru and then use Super Polymerization to clear the board. I don't want Seeger getting them any attack boosts. We're going to cycle through some more Witchcrafters and then end with Presentation. We pass turn and they'll use Rev System to get back their Seeker, and then they'll play Overload Fusion to special summon Rampage Dragon. They'll use Seeker to boost the Rampage Dragon and attack us for 4200 direct. They pass back to us and we'll draw into another Presentation. We'll use Masterpiece in Graveyard so that we can summon Genie from deck, and use its effect to get Vare. At end of turn we'll get Demonstration back and pass to them. They'll use Rampage's effect to send Core from deck to grave. They'll try to boost with Seeker but we'll negate with Vare so they can't punch over us. On our turn, we draw a Super Polymerization, can't use that yet, so we'll set that and then get our Presentation back. They'll attempt to boost their power, but we'll do like we did last turn and negate that effect. They pass back to us and we get Extravagance! Yes, maybe we can draw something that'll finally get us out of this. Oh no, they have the Ash. Okay, well, we'll just repeat last turn, we'll get the Demonstration back and pass it to them. They tribute Seeger for Galaxy Soldier. No effect, but they do overlay into Nova and Infinity, and at this point we have to stop them. We pull the trigger on Super Poly, but they do have a Core engraved, so they summon Naster, which gets back their Infinity. They have the Machine Duplication, so they get 2 Cyber Dragons. They'll overlay for Nova, Infinity will scoop up the Naster, they'll punch into our Mud Dragon, and they're going to attack us for 21. They pass to us, and we have to have something really good, but all we draw is Magician Souls. We normal summon and try to activate the draw effect, but they stop it with Infinity, and we have no cards in hand, nothing on field, and absolutely no graveyard effects to stop them. They're going to play the Overload Fusion that they draw off the top to make Rampage Dragon, and attack us for the last 2100 points of damage for game. You know, I expected Dinosaurs to wipe the floor with me, but Cyber Dragons? Looks like we've got a lot more work ahead of us before Magic can overcome technology. Let's go over what works and what needs work. First, this deck has some of the easiest access to their boss monsters that I've seen in a while. As long as you discarded a Witchcrafter spell to your little magicians, you'll get the investment back at the end of the turn. which will be key for activating the effects of Vare and Hain to disrupt your opponent during their turn. Second, new additions have made the deck much more streamlined. Previously, Masterpiece was hard to recommend, because you'd have to banish at least 2 spells to get it online. However, with the release of Genie, you only need to banish 1 to get things going. Combined with a way to recycle your material with Patronus while getting just the spells you need, it's never been easier to sculpt your hand. And lastly, when Magician's Souls goes off, it really goes off. Spells like Collaboration and Draping can rot in your hand while you're setting up, but Souls turns them into upstart goblins that recycle themselves. And by pitching the themed traps, you get to skip ahead to the arguably better effects. But we also have to talk about the downsides. First off, Extravagance and Souls is not the kind of peanut butter and chocolate combination I'd been hoping for. While running both at 3 means that you'll see a draw effect in your opening hand more often, sometimes you'll end up getting both, which causes some issues. Souls can still Foolish Vare, but it's only good if it can resolve all of its effects. That might be for the best though. Trying to get a playset of both of these right now would be prohibitively expensive in paper. Second, it's still pretty slow. Even if you keep your spell activations to a minimum, the fact that you only get the extra card advantage during your end phase, where you can't effectively use them, means that you're totally reliant on the big crafters to leverage those cards, and they're not exactly packing a lot of protection effects. And lastly, even at their strongest, they just don't measure up to the competition. We managed to pull off some pretty out there interactions, but aside from tech picks like super polymerization, you don't have a way to break boards effectively. Especially if they have a negate primed for Vare. The only effective removal you have is Hain, which, isn't the worst, they are Dryden after a fashion, but a lack of redundancy does lead to exploitable choke points. Well, time to go back to the drawing board. If you'd like to peer review my study, please comment down below with your thoughts and suggestions, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. It would absolutely mean the world to me. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.